Be prepared, because the moment you have been unknowingly walking toward has finally arrived. You carried yourself through storms that most could not endure, and you did not simply survive, you transcended. You crossed a threshold that others didn't even realize they were standing at. And now, as the dust begins to settle, what waits for you is a reward no one else saw coming. It is not the kind of reward wrapped in glitter or noise, not something temporary or shallow, but the kind of reward that proves itself in your soul, in your alignment, in the undeniable shift of your life's path. The truth is, most people did not make it through this passage. This shift, though it looked ordinary on the surface, was not ordinary at all. It wasn't about horoscopes or simple stargazing. It was a hidden test, a filter, a refining fire that silently measured the resilience of human hearts. And while the majority stumbled back into old cycles, pulled apart by chaos, you did not. You endured. You stayed present when distraction tried to lure you away. You remained firm when old patterns tried to drag you back. You stood your ground. You passed. Understand this. Passing was not common. Passing was not expected. Passing was rare. For the chosen ones, surviving what just unfolded was not about strength alone. It was about being marked for something greater. The fire you walked through was not your prize. It was your initiation. It was the qualifier, the evidence, the seal that confirms you are ready for what's next. And what's coming next is not ordinary. It is not a mild continuation of what has been. It is something that will separate you even further, something that turns the page and begins an entirely new chapter of your story. The shift of the moon from Aries into Taurus was not merely an event in the night sky. It was a lock being turned, a hidden chamber being opened. It was the universe signaling that the time for concealment is ending, and the time for revelation has arrived. What was hidden will soon stand in plain sight. Where once you walked through fog, clarity will now spread before you like a map etched in light. The blueprint of your life, the one you have only glimpsed in scattered fragments, will begin to reveal itself in whole patterns. Do not mistake this shift for something gentle. Clarity will not come as a soft whisper. It will arrive as undeniable contrasts, as doors swinging wide open or slamming shut, as paths suddenly dissolving or emerging with precision. This is no longer about stripping away illusions as Aries did. That fire was meant to break down, to burn, to clear. Taurus is different. Taurus comes to ground, to plant, to root the chaos into form. It is the energy of making what is invisible visible, of taking what was once untouchable and building it into something lasting. You might notice how choices that once felt confusing suddenly point toward one clear direction. You may sense that where you once doubted, now you know. This is the blueprint awakening inside of you. It has always been waiting, and the question now is not whether the path is real. The question is whether you are ready to follow where it leads. The fire of Aries was never meant to comfort you. It was never meant to make life easier. It came to test. Every restless night, every overwhelming moment when you whispered to yourself, "I can't take this anymore," was not weakness. It was proof. It was the evidence the universe needed that you were capable of standing where others would have collapsed. Fire does not destroy the diamond. It reveals it. That is what happened to you. The burn was not a punishment. It was the signature etched into your soul's contract with destiny. Every struggle you carried in that season was witnessed. None of it was wasted. Each scar became a line in the story that now proves you are unshakable. Where others saw endless obstacles, the universe saw qualification. This is why you passed. Not because your life was easier, not because you avoided pain, but because you refused to let pain dictate your ending. The very things that tried to break you became the very proof that you cannot be broken. What hurt you the most was not your downfall. It became the cornerstone for the breakthrough you are about to step into. And this is the twist most overlook. Your survival was not despite your pain, it was because of it. The fire refined you. The chaos marked you. The pain prepared you. It stripped away what was false, it exposed what was real, and it showed the universe that you are ready for the acceleration now at hand. Yet, with this rising comes new tests. The traps of the past, the people who drained your energy, the habits that chained you, their hold has weakened. But new traps appear at higher levels, subtler and more deceptive. They come not as obvious negativity but as endless loops that disguise themselves as progress. You may feel the pull to constantly heal, constantly fix, constantly search for what's broken. It looks like growth, but if you stay there too long, it becomes another cage. Or you may be tempted to keep chasing signs and symbols, always seeking meaning while the life you are meant to live passes by. The new test is not about avoiding darkness, but about refusing to be distracted by false light. In this reversal, the very traits you once tried to suppress are revealed as gifts. What you thought were flaws were waiting to become your greatest tools. If you have always overthought, always analyzed, always noticed too much, then what felt like a burden becomes your intuition sharpened to a blade. If you have always felt awkward, out of place, drained by shallow conversations, then that same awkwardness becomes the filter that guards you, ensuring only those who see your depth remain. The shadows you once despised in yourself are now the weapons carving your way forward. What you once tried to erase is now what will write your story. This is the lock turning, the story reversing, the universe showing you that what you believed was against you has always been for you. And now you must wield it. Fate is no longer whispering. It is no longer nudging softly. It is taking the wheel, swerving your course in real time. You will notice it in the moments when what you thought was right collapses instantly. The door shuts. The call goes unanswered. The plan falls apart. In the past, you would have thought you failed. But now you will see that this is not failure, it is precision. It is surgical redirection. It is the universe pulling you from a dead end before you waste another step. Then comes the flip. You shift course, perhaps without even realizing how, and suddenly everything clicks. Energy flows, doors open, people appear. The rejection you once mourned reveals itself as rescue. The path that dissolved overnight becomes proof that you are being guided with immediacy. These aren't subtle signs anymore. They are dramatic, unmistakable interventions. And they are happening because you are no longer being prepared at a distance. You are already walking in the blueprint. This phase of your journey is not about delay. It is about acceleration. That is why the wrong turns collapse so quickly. That is why the universe no longer lets you linger where you don't belong. You are being aligned in real time because the stage you are stepping into cannot wait. Every rejection, every sudden redirection, every collapse is not chaos. It is guidance. It is proof that the universe has taken the wheel and refuses to let you miss what was always meant for you. So the question you must ask yourself now is not, why is this happening to me? The question is, am I ready to accept that what I thought was breaking me was actually qualifying me? Am I ready to step fully into a reality where fate is no longer subtle but decisive, where every turn is orchestrated, where every collapse is a course correction? Because this is where you stand now. You passed through fire and did not burn away. You endured the stripping of Aries, and now you enter the grounding of Taurus. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. And the universe is about to show you that what you once thought was lost was actually the lock turning, the map unfolding, the floodgate opening. You are not the same person who entered this shift. And that is why what's about to unfold will not feel the same either. The fog has lifted. The blueprint is awake. And the reward waiting for you is not ordinary. It is destiny made visible. It is already moving ahead of you, sitting quietly in the driver's seat of your life, guiding you toward what you must not miss. Even now, there is a shift stirring within you, and it's not something small or superficial. It isn't just an emotional wave passing through, nor is it simply a mental thought pattern rearranging itself. This shift is deeper than that. It is a transformation at the very core of your being, something that reaches into your soul. What is rising inside you cannot be imitated, and it cannot be shaken loose. It is a kind of authority that belongs to you alone, one that has been forged through everything you have endured, everything you have faced, and everything you have refused to surrender to. You are stepping into a new frequency, one that makes the old struggle of defending yourself, explaining yourself endlessly, or proving your worth to others completely unnecessary. That battle is over. The energy of Taurus is wrapping itself around you now, grounding you like the base of a mountain. And what is a mountain if not the perfect symbol of unshakable truth? No matter how fiercely the wind may howl, No matter how many storms rage, the mountain does not bow. It does not need to. That is the essence of the power now growing within you. True power was never about forcing control, shouting to be heard, or demanding to be recognized. True power is quiet, steady, and undeniable. It is not loud or desperate, and it does not need an audience. It lives in the way you carry yourself, in the peace you refuse to let go of, in the way your truth does not bend even when everything around you tries to press against it. That is what you are becoming now. Someone who does not need validation, someone whose very presence speaks louder than any words could. Before you even open your mouth, people will feel the difference. Remember what Aries taught you. Aries burned away the illusions. It stripped off the masks. It forced you to confront the chaos within and around you. That fire was painful, exhausting even, but it was necessary. Cleared the debris, it broke the chains, it burned off what was never truly yours. And though you may have thought it left you bare, that burning prepared you for this moment. Now Taurus comes in to root all of that fire into the ground, to turn fleeting clarity into lasting conviction. Where once you questioned yourself, you now stand firm. Where once belief wavered, now it grows roots so deep nothing can tear it out. This new authority is not simply about how others perceive you, it is about how you finally perceive yourself. Think back to the countless times you doubted your own instincts, when you softened your truth to keep the peace, when you stayed silent because you feared your voice would not matter. That version of you cannot exist any longer. The shift will not allow it, which is why, in the days ahead, you may notice more conflict, more tests, more situations that push your boundaries harder than before. It is not punishment, it is proof. The universe presses on you not to crush you, but to reveal that you can stand without falling. Pressure reveals strength, and strength shines brightest in the face of challenge. So do not be surprised when the people around you begin to treat you differently. Some will be pulled toward you as though your grounded energy is gravity itself. They will feel safer in your presence, more open, more aligned. Others will resist because your unshakable stability exposes the instability within them. Both reactions are signs of the same truth. You are carrying an energy that cannot be ignored. And unlike passing moments of inspiration, this authority is not temporary. Once Taurus plants it within you, it is like roots threading through stone. Once it settles, it cannot be pulled up, not by storms, not by doubt, not by fear. You will begin to notice the shift in your everyday life. Decisions that once filled you with anxiety will suddenly feel simple. Words you once struggled to say will flow easily. Situations that once shook your core will now feel small compared to the truth you stand in. This is the essence of real authority. Not standing over others, but standing so firmly within yourself that nothing else can stand over you. Already, this transformation has begun to radiate. You may not fully see it yet, but others are noticing. People who once overlooked you may now find themselves pausing, staring, sensing something has shifted in you. They may not even have the words for it. They might simply say, "You look different. You seem calmer. There's something about you." These are not casual remarks. These are glimpses of the truth. Spiritual transformation is the only glow-up that cannot be faked. Aries burned you raw, stripped away what was false, left you exposed in your own fire. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't easy. But Taurus now takes that fire and gives it form. What was only inner flame now becomes visible radiance. It shows up in your posture, in the steadiness of your tone, in the unwavering directness of your gaze. You may find that when you walk into a room, people turn before you even speak. Your energy arrives first, carrying your authority like a tidal wave. And this glow, this radiance, is not surface level. It isn't about how you dress, how many hours you spend in the gym, or how well you can fake confidence. This glow is deeper, comes from alignment with your own truth, and truth is the one thing that cannot be faked. People who once dismissed you will find they cannot anymore. Your frequency has shifted to a place where invisibility is no longer possible. Some will be magnetically drawn to it, finding comfort and strength in your presence. Others will feel unsettled, even threatened, because your transformation reminds them of everything they are running from. but both are undeniable proof. Your transformation is real, and it radiates. And watch what happens as the mirror effect takes hold. When your light shifts, others begin reflecting it back to you. Strangers will smile at you without knowing why. Conversations will flow with more ease. Doors that once felt locked will begin to open, as if waiting all this time for your knock. These are not coincidences. They are ripples of your own transformation, echoes of the energy now moving through you. But perhaps the most dramatic shift will be with the people who thought they had you figured out. They will realize, perhaps suddenly, that they do not know you at all anymore. The old version of you has been burned away. Every word, every look, every silence will show them the truth. This is not just inner change, it is outward radiance. You don't have to announce it. The world itself will announce it for you. And yet, here is the part most people don't realize. The breakthrough you just experienced is not the ending. It is not the final chapter. It is only the beginning. Passing the first test does not mean you have won. It means you are ready for the next level. This is the second layer, and it is far more dangerous. Because when the universe grants you clarity, strength, and blessings, it also watches closely to see how you carry them. This is where many fall. They celebrate too early, thinking the work is over. They slip back into old habits, assuming the blessings will remain no matter how they move. But this energy is alive. It responds to you. It grows with your choices, your thoughts, your actions. That is why some people see miracles appear in their lives only to watch them fade away. It isn't that the universe took them back. It is that they weren't ready for the second layer. They doubted themselves, sabotaged their own blessings, or refused to step fully into the authority they were given. You are being asked to hold steady, to walk forward without falling back, to prove not just that you could pass the fire, but that you can carry the crown it placed upon your head. This is your moment, and the world will not be able to ignore it. Think about this for a moment. How many times in your life have you prayed, cried out, or whispered in silence for a breakthrough, only to hesitate or question it when it finally showed up at your doorstep? That hesitation is one of the most subtle but powerful traps. You may have told yourself and the universe over and over that you were ready, but when the blessing appeared, doubt crept in. Instead of stepping forward with open hands, you second-guessed it. Instead of embracing it, you paused. That pause, that hesitation, shifts the energy away. Faith is not proven in the waiting. Faith is not proven in those long nights where you dream of a new chapter. Faith is proven in the moment the answer arrives, when you stand face to face with what you asked for, and you choose whether to claim it or shrink back. That's where true alignment is tested. And then there's the second layer. Most people never notice it because it doesn't come with fanfare. It doesn't announce itself like Aries fire that bursts through chaos, or the steady grounding of Taurus earth that you can immediately feel under your feet. This layer is far quieter. It shows itself in the ordinary, in the way you respond to opportunities that don't look grand on the surface, in how you carry yourself when no one is watching, in how you treat the stranger, the cashier, the friend who has nothing to offer you in return. That's the subtle field where the universe measures whether you're truly ready. This second layer isn't about potential anymore. The first layer already revealed that you've seen glimpses of what you're capable of. The second layer tests whether you can actually hold it, whether you can sustain the weight of what you've been entrusted with. Imagine being given a key to a door that hides an entirely new world. Most people drop the key before they even reach the lock. They say it's too heavy. They get distracted by noise. They let fear tell them maybe they weren't supposed to have it after all. But if you guard that key with intention, if you walk steadily and unlock the door, what opens isn't just another room. It's a whole new reality. The universe isn't asking you if you want blessings, because everyone wants them. It's asking whether you can carry them, whether you have the strength and the clarity to walk with what you prayed for without sabotaging it. This is where many stumble. They confuse arrival with completion. They think receiving is the end of the journey, but in truth, it's the beginning of a new one. You've been trusted with something rare, and now the second layer is watching to see what you do next. This is the moment that decides whether the shift you've experienced will be fleeting, or whether it will rewrite your entire story. One of the first signs you'll notice after a moon shift of this magnitude is silence. People you used to talk to every single day suddenly don't feel the same. Conversations that once flowed easily now feel heavy, forced, unnatural. Invitations may still arrive, but you'll notice you no longer have the desire to say yes. At first, this silence feels uncomfortable, almost like loss. Can even feel like you're drifting from the world you once belonged to. But that silence is not loss. It's alignment. Your energy is now doing for you what your courage may have resisted. The recent shift from Aries into Taurus didn't only stabilize you internally, it recalibrated your frequency externally. That means anyone who doesn't match the vibration you've stepped into will quietly fade from your orbit. And that word, quietly, is important. This doesn't look like explosive breakups, dramatic arguments, or storms of conflict. It looks like distance forming without reason, calls unanswered, messages left unsent. The bond dissolves quietly, like mist in the morning. And though your mind may try to fight it, asking, "What did I do wrong?" or "Why is this person leaving?" the truth is nothing is wrong. This is what precision feels like. The moon shift is acting as a cosmic filter, cutting away what no longer belongs, what no longer fits where you're headed. Your frequency has become sharper, like an instrument being finely tuned. And the sharper the note, the more obvious it becomes when someone else is out of tune. It doesn't mean those people are bad, toxic, or undeserving. It simply means they no longer harmonize with the new symphony you are stepping into. Not everyone who walked beside you during the test was meant to remain with you after you passed it. And here's the truth most people don't want to say aloud. This silence can feel like betrayal. You may wonder why those you trusted seem to vanish. Why bonds that once held you so tightly suddenly loosen and fall apart. But this is not betrayal, it's sorting. The universe is not punishing you by removing people. It is clearing your path. It is making sure you don't carry unnecessary weight into your next chapter. Because to step into your authority and carry the blessing you've been given, you must travel light. That means no anchors disguised as friendships. No groups that once supported you but now quietly tether you to the past. And here's the paradox, some of those people may circle back later, after they've gone through their own shifts. Others were only ever meant to walk with you for a certain stretch of the road, and their part in your story is complete. That's okay. Not every character belongs in every chapter. But don't miss this truth, while people are leaving, something else is arriving. The universe never subtracts without multiplying. As your circle shrinks, you'll begin to notice new connections stepping into your life. Strangers who feel like family from the first conversation. Encounters that go deeper in a week than others did in years. Alignments that feel fated, predestined, written long before you even arrived here. This is refinement. The noise is being stripped away so only truth remains. And if you've worried that this shrinking means loneliness, shift your perspective. Loneliness is emptiness. But this isn't emptiness, it's clearing. It's creating room for what's real, what's aligned, what's truly meant. Sometimes the universe tests you by asking if you can stand alone before it trusts you with true community. That silence you're feeling is not abandonment. It's preparation. It's proof of your strength. It's evidence that you can walk alone, which is why you'll never truly have to again. So when people begin to slip away, don't chase them. Don't cling to what's dissolving. Let it happen. Because what's leaving is evidence of your elevation, and what's coming will not only match your new frequency, it will multiply it. This moon shift didn't strip you of relationships. It refined you, tuned you so sharply that only truth can stay. And those who remain or arrive are the ones your soul has been waiting for all along. Every true spiritual threshold ends the same way, not with a finish line, but with a doorway. This moon shift was not the conclusion. It was the invitation. And the question now hanging in the air is simple. Are you ready for the plot twist? Because here's what many don't realize. When the universe shifts you, it doesn't just hand you blessings, stability, or clarity. It rewrites the script you thought you were living in. What once seemed predictable or certain can flip overnight. Careers, relationships, opportunities, even the place you call home. None of it is locked in stone anymore. The cosmic ink is still wet, and for the first time, the pen is in your hands. Destiny doesn't unfold like a pre-written novel. It responds to your choices. That's why everything feels so amplified right now. One choice you make today can ripple 10 times further than it would have before. A decision to let go of what is toxic doesn't just bring you peace. It alters your entire path. Saying yes to something unexpected doesn't just move you forward. It flings open doors you never knew were waiting. Every thought, every choice, every step carries new weight. Twists in life don't always arrive wrapped in golden light or dressed in perfection. More often than not, they show up wearing the mask of chaos. They appear in the form of the job you suddenly lose, the unexpected move that uproots you from what you thought was secure, or the painful ending of a relationship you once believed would last forever. In the moment, these things can feel like collapse, like the ground giving way beneath your feet. They feel like the breaking of everything you thought you could lean on. Yet, when you look back with time and perspective, you realize that what first looked like destruction was actually the very moment that everything opened. It was the hidden doorway disguised as disaster. The universe has a way of breaking the script you've been following, not to punish you, but to remind you that you were never meant to live as a performer in someone else's play. Sometimes your carefully written lines are torn apart because you were never supposed to be acting. You were always meant to be living. And it's at this point that so many people hesitate. They fight to hold onto the familiar, clinging to the version of their story that once felt safe. They keep trying to stuff new energy, new possibilities, into the old box that no longer fits. They chase after the comfort of the old, unaware that it's keeping them from stepping into the fullness of the new. But those who are chosen for greater things respond differently. The chosen ones recognize that the box was never theirs to begin with. They understand that the twist isn't a punishment but a calling. The plot twist is never random, it's a test, and at its core, it is a question of flexibility. Can you release what once brought you comfort even though it no longer belongs to you? Can you stand in the wilderness of uncertainty without the urge to control every detail of the outcome? Can you trust that the sudden shift, the unraveling of your plans, isn't working against you but working for you? And make no mistake, not everyone is given these kinds of plot twists. The universe doesn't scatter them lightly. It only places them in the lives of those it knows can handle the turbulence. You've already shown that you can walk through fire without being consumed, surviving the relentless lessons of Aries. You've already grounded yourself in the stability and lessons of Taurus, proving that you can root yourself in the soil of patience and discipline. That was your audition, your trial by elements. Passing it was your signal to the universe that you're ready for something wilder, something that won't just move you forward but will completely break you out of the script you thought you were stuck in. In practice, this means that you may wake up one morning and feel the dream you've been chasing no longer excites you the way it once did. It means people you once imagined walking with forever suddenly step off your path. Not because you failed, but because their chapter in your story has closed. It means doors you never thought to knock on will suddenly swing wide open, so quickly you'll barely have time to adjust. The landscape of your life can shift in days or weeks in ways that usually take years to unfold. Everything you thought was fixed can suddenly feel like sand shifting beneath your feet, not to destroy you but to rebuild you in a new form. And here lies the beauty. You're not powerless in this transformation. You're not merely a character being tossed around by fate. You are the co-writer of this new story. Every time you choose courage instead of fear, every time you root yourself in presence instead of distraction, every time you show up authentically instead of performing for approval, you're adding new lines to the script. The more you live with boldness, the faster the story unfolds. The universe doesn't demand perfection from you, only that you step into this new chapter with openness and faith. That's why the universe whispers the question, are you ready? Not ready for comfort, not ready for predictability, but ready for the thrill of living a story that will never again look ordinary. The universe only entrusts these kinds of twists to souls bold enough to hold them. This recent moon shift was not just another passing phase in the sky. It was a test, and you didn't just endure it, you passed it. That's why what comes next will not simply surprise you. It will transform you. It will not only open doors, it will rewrite you. So, as you stand here now, know that your life has already been shifted into a new frequency. You are stepping into a chapter where the old rules don't apply.